What's up, everybody? Welcome to The Magic Life with DJ Augustin, my brand new podcast.
We're so excited for you to listen, but DJ, I want to ask, what is it about podcasting that made you want to get involved?
It's something that I started to listen to a lot recently. Normally on my way to practice, I listen to music or things like that, but I'm just in a different space now, and I just listen to all types of podcasts on the way to the gym. And, if it's real estate podcasts, business, comedies, whatever it is, that's what I chose to watch and listen to now.
So what's the goal with this podcast in particular?
My goal is just to, give the fans and the people a different side of us. They see us on TV, see us playing basketball, and there's so much more to us than just that. We're into music, we're into business, we're into a lot of things, and I just want to give people that perspective.
Well, we can't wait for you to listen, and our very first guest is none other than Mo Bamba.
Augustin for three. He drills it. DJ Augustin.
All right, we're welcoming in our first guest, Mo Bamba. Thank you so much for joining the show.
Thanks for having me. Appreciate it.
Of course, DJ handpicked you.
Handpicked.
Oh, I appreciate that, bro. I appreciate it.
My man.
Was there a reason why you wanted to put Mo on the show first?
Yeah, he's real interesting. Mo, he has this song out with his name in it. So he has a lot of followers on Instagram. He has a lot going on. So I thought he'd be a great first guest for us.
I like it.
For sure.
So we're definitely going
And you my guy. You my guy too.
We're definitely going to get to the song as well, because I think that's a very interesting little tidbit about your life.
Okay.
So, Mo, you're officially still a rookie until tomorrow night.
Yeah, bro, I'm really holding on.
Yeah, that's how it works.
All right.
What was the hardest part being a rookie? Like, what was the hardest thing for you to have to do? Did guys make you do anything?
Yeah. Nah, so I actually give y'all some credit for that, because y'all looked out. And they didn't. There was no rookie hazing. There was no walking in your car or walking in the garage and there's popcorn all over your car. None of that. And I respect y'all for that, because I hear some of other dudes from other teams. They're like, yeah, I got to spend however much money to get my car cleaned out. So I appreciate that. But the hardest thing for me was just the travel, but the routine stuff for me. In college, it's just you just get up, you got class, and you just know everything is already set. But in the league, you get so much more free time. It's just all right, you got to make your days as productive as possible outside of leaving, the Amway. But that was the hardest part for me as far as my rookie year, and the injury, of course. Just being injured and being out. And feeling like, you're not really part of the team because you're not on the floor, but, trying to stay engaged as much as possible.
So what did you do to keep your head in the game, even though you were... Come on, man. Come on, man.
Oh, man.
What did you do to keep your head in the game, even though you were injured, you couldn't play, you couldn't practice? What did you do to make sure you were still locked in?
Yeah.
And not just...
Yeah. For I think the early stages of my injury, I was kind of just all right, whatever. This is the cards that I've been dealt, and I just got to deal with it. But let me just, let me fade in the background. But when you get injured, that's when you kind of want to, get with your teammates the most, so you can really see stuff what goes on, what goes on in preparation for what really goes on out there. But I think one thing that I did was meet up with Coach Cliff a lot. We just went over other bigs and what they do, and pretty much just what we gonna do as far as scheming for the games.
Gotcha.
Was there anything that you noticed for him as a rookie that was completely different from your own rookie experience?
Yeah, for sure. Like he said, with the rookie hazing, when I came in the league, it was totally different. Even the coaches was involved in hazing.
That's messed up, man.
I remember I played for Larry Brown.
He was hazing.
and he would make me, whenever we landed in a city, I would have to help the TSA people get the bags off the plane and load them on the bus, rain, sleet, or snow. That was just him. And then I had stuff I had to do with my teammates, get donuts. I had Gerald Wallace, Jason Richardson, Sean May, Raymond Felton. Those are my bets. So I had to get their bags when we got to the hotel, bring it to their rooms, whatever they needed. But they on the flip side of that, they would give me some per diem. They would compensate me in some kind of way for doing that, because you didn't do nothing. That's what we just said. Why would I give you per diem? So the league. I mean, I look at it now that I'm older. I look at, okay, we're getting soft now because they get away with anything. So When I came in, it was totally different. Everybody was involved. It was, you know, slicing tires, popcorn in cars, everything.
Slicing tires?
It's just evil. You know what this reminds me of? It reminds me of when you have an older sibling and your parents start to like not care as much. And the younger sibling is just like doing kind of his thing. But it's all good.
Yeah.
It's all good.
All right, but now that you won't be a rookie anymore,
Yeah.
are you down to like bring that back? Like and actually like haze
Nah,
the rookies?
We don't. I don't think this year we have a rookie on roster at least. But give me a couple years, and I'm gonna be straight up. Ooh, they gonna hate me. They gonna hate me. Y'all should have took advantage of that.
Nah, you know, it's different.
respected
Yeah,
that.
it's different, man. It's different. The only thing I made you do was cut the showers on, get towels. You still had a problem with that.
What you mean I had a problem with that?
You wouldn't do it. You would have an attitude.
Bro, there was 2 other rookies too.
But I locked in on you.
Y'all gotta get this man. Y'all gotta get this man. Wait till you get back in the
You gotta
locker
grow
room.
up, bro. Grow up.
Oh, man.
You're not a rookie tomorrow. Come on, man.
Oh man.
What do you think it was about Mo that you locked in on him? Like, I
think it goes back to that Texas relationship, you know, and I wanted to make sure, you know, because sometimes when you ask rookies to do stuff and they kind of defiant, I seen it get bad for rookies. So I tried to make sure I was the one asking them to do things because I knew I would take it easy on them. You gotta stop, man.
So essentially, he's saying you got lucky.
Yeah, I got lucky. I got lucky, man.
You gotta stop. You gotta stop.
But yeah, my whole thing was like I didn't really understand why rookies would be defined because it's just like everybody like before you had to do it, so it's just like all right, now it's your time, and you know it only lasts for a year. And the thing is, the more defined you are, the more they're gonna make you do stuff. So just they ask you to go pick up some cards, go pick up some dominoes, go do this or that, and just do it, man.
But let's kind of talk about your life a little bit. Right. So, being from Harlem. New York is kind of known as this mecca of basketball. Yeah. I feel like it kind of strayed from that a little bit, but just being from that area, what's that like?
What you mean it strayed from?
I don't.
What you mean?
I feel like there were a couple years where they weren't producing.
No, yeah, that is
the same amount of basketball players that they're.
That is definitely true. I think when I was in high school, people kept saying like, you know, all the good players are going to like these boarding schools or these prep schools, and for a while we didn't have anybody, you know, go to the league from New York. That was originally from New York, so you know, being one of a couple guys in my draft from New York came out, and you know, we're in the league now. But being the first one off the board was special. What
was it like growing up in that area? Harlem has typically had not the greatest reputation. I know it's kind of changed a little bit. It's a lot more culturally diverse. But what was it like as a kid growing up there? Yeah,
it was. To me, it was fun. But you're definitely forced to grow up fast. You know, you're just around and you see things and you just know things at a very young age that you really shouldn't necessarily even be around. But you know, it adds that edge to you when you do grow up, and you're able to like, all right, I seen a situation similar to this when I was younger, so you know how to adapt to things.
Nice. At what age do you remember that you had like a growth spurt?
See, that's the thing. I was also forced to grow up early because of that too. I was always tall, so people thought when I was 10, people always thought that I was 13, 14. Even when I was like 7, people thought that I was like 11. So I was always able to like, you know, do things that some of the older kids were able to do. But I never really had a growth spurt. I was always tall, unlike DJ.
I knew that was coming.
Was that ever like odd for you? I know some people like, as a female, like if I was taller than like other girls or like guys, because girls typically grow a little bit faster than when they're younger, I like would hunch over and I was like, I don't want to be the tall one. Yeah. Did you ever experience anything like that? No,
not really, because like I said, I was 9, but I was hanging out with the 11 and 12-year-olds, so we were all like kind of the same height.
Did you ever experience anything?
Never. I actually been this height since I was 12, so.
Really?
Yeah, I dominated. I dominated the biddy league, so yeah, I thought I was gonna be kind of like the LeBron of biddy basketball, and then it just shut down for me.
Wow, man.
Yeah, I started drinking coffee early too, at an early age. That stunts your growth.
What time?
You didn't know that?
No.
It does.
It stunts your growth.
Coffee.
What age did you start drinking coffee?
I probably was like 14.
What?
He was working a 9 to 5 when he was 14.
Just for fun, I thought it was cool to do it. Yeah. So.
Are your parents coffee drinkers?
No, they're not. I don't know why I did it. It's strange, but it
Just
definitely
show
has
up
something to
to
do with
Dunkin' Donuts or Starbucks.
Yeah,
Can I get
definitely
my
has
cup
something
of
to do
Joe? Thanks.
Yeah, for sure.
That's what you
For
get.
sure. Yeah.
That's what you
Stunning
get.
my growth. Yeah.
So don't drink coffee,
Don't
kids,
drink
at a
coffee.
young age, is what we're learning.
Yeah.
So there's something you both have in common.
Mm-hmm.
Can we guess? Besides playing for the Magic and being NBA players?
UT.
UT.
Yeah.
So let's talk about life at UT.
Mm-hmm.
DJ, I want to start with you because you obviously are his predecessor. You went before him.
Right.
Why did you decide to go to Texas?
That's a good question because a lot of people thought I was gonna go to LSU because I'm from New Orleans.
Makes sense.
Just when I went on my visit there, it was just so beautiful in Austin. I don't think a lot of people know about Austin, how beautiful it is. And then the facilities, some of the facilities are better than some of the NBA facilities, you know, and it just was just an amazing place. And I just felt like with the class we had coming in, you had Kevin Durant, you know, Damian James, Dexter Pittman. I felt like we'd be a really good team, and it was the best decision I made in my life.
What about for you?
Actually, it's really similar to him. Everybody thought that I was either going to go to, I think, either Duke or Kentucky, but I was just like, you know, I kind of want something different. And I went and visited Texas, and it was beautiful. You know, you had all the nice facilities and everything, but then you peel back away from just the university and you look at the city of Austin. And the secret's out now. Everybody's moving to Austin and trying to, you know, get something going there. But just look at the city of Austin, how much it's grown, and you know how vibrant it is. Just want to be a part of it. And to me, it being different and it, you know, being as crazy as it was, it spoke to me.
What's it like? I've never been able to visit that campus. So what's it like? What's it like being a student there, being on the basketball team?
Well, I mean, you get a lot of notoriety. You know, you're playing on TV a lot. You know, when I was there, we was on TV all the time. Every Monday, it's like we was on TV. So when we get back to school on Tuesday, all of the class, you know, the students, they knew us. They would ask for autographs. It was kind of crazy, you know, but it was fun at the same time. I think that's the best experience, you know, college basketball. You know, the fans are there every night going crazy for you. It's different in the NBA. You know, you may go to some cities, it might be a few fans there, depending on who you're playing. So just every night was crazy. Every game was a big game, and it's like a brotherhood, like a brotherhood for sure.
Yeah, I think the biggest thing I took away from Texas is that everybody hates Texas. Like,
Yeah.
we got like 8 schools that think that'll be their biggest rivalry.
Yeah.
But you know, we just us and everybody. You know, Texas is, you know, we're the state university, so everybody wants to come at us.
And that was the biggest thing. Like, it was like a family feel. That's another reason why I went there. Just like even Mo's younger than me. Like I feel like he's family. Yeah. Like not just because we play for the Magic, but either guys on other teams, I feel like they're brothers. You know, even if they came in after me or before me, we all kind of just got that family feel and just stick together.
Oh, that's dope.
Yeah.
Do you guys have like any inside jokes because you guys are the two Longhorn alum in the locker room?
Nah, it's because we had different coaches.
Yeah.
If I had Rick Barnes, I'm sure we would have probably had a lot of jokes. But I was lucky to have Shaka.
It's normally me telling all the stories about Rick. Rick was a great coach, great guy. You know, he's a little bit different than Shaka is.
Elaborate on that.
I love Rick. Rick was a great guy, great coach, and you know, like I said, he's just different. You know, they had different approaches, and I think Shaka is great for the younger guys that's there now and coming up. You know, just a different type of coach, and you know, he's doing great right now.
Were there any like spots at the university that everyone would kind of congregate to?
Yeah. I mean, I think everybody know about 6th Street. That's like it's like the happening spot. You know, they block off the street on certain nights, and just people just everywhere walking the streets. Kind of like if you ever been to New Orleans, like Bourbon Street almost.
Okay.
Yeah.
It's like a trashy Times Square, but it's like all like bars and different stuff. I didn't go there because I wasn't old enough to go. You know, but I'm sure it was different.
Yeah, right.
I'm sure it was different in the 70s when DJ.
I have to imagine as a basketball player, because I know, having either visited Florida or Florida State, like you would see guys who are way underage as freshmen out at the bars, and they were like velvet ropes, like, here, come on in. So you can't sit here and tell me that you didn't experience that.
Well, next question. No, there's definitely an element of that, but at the same time, like there's been a few times where like, you know, like listen, everyone in the bar knows who you are. Like, we can't have you in here. You know? It's like, all right, respect. Just go back to campus, go to the gym, and then call it a night.
Yeah.
how does going somewhere like Texas, like you said, on national TV, people know who you are. How do you think that almost gets you ready for that next step, like the NBA, where it's on such a bigger scale?
Yeah, I think it definitely helps, because, in high school, not many high school games are televised. And just to get that first taste of playing on national television, and you got family and friends texting you, and you seeing stuff about yourself on TV, it's a different feeling. And it could be either way. It can give you a big head and make you feel like, well, I'm the man, or it can humble you and be like, wow, I'm really on this level, and get you ready for another situation. Come on, man. Come on, man.
I mean, yeah. My bad.
This one of those inside jokes.
Anyway, but yeah, like I don't think he mentioned it, but every game is televised actually for Texas because we have a Longhorn network. Yeah. Literally every single game is televised. So yeah, you got family and friends hitting you up from back home saying, yeah, we saw you on TV, we're excited, and it gives you early exposure to being on TV. Mm-hmm.
What do you think was the most surprising? You obviously both came in at 10 years apart from each other, right, coming into the league. So what do you think was the biggest shock to the NBA lifestyle?
For me, it was the traveling. I knew, in college you play, 30 games? Yeah. Mm-hmm. So, you might travel once a week, but you're back home. You spend so much time at home. And NBA is totally different. Like, you're gone. Sometimes you won't see your own bed for about 2 weeks. Yeah. And that's a big change, a big adjustment for a guy like, that's young coming into the league. You're not used to that. It's definitely a lifestyle change.
Yeah. To me, it was just like, it was that, but at the same time, it was just being able to wake up and not know what city you're in. Like, there was a few times I just had no idea what time zone I was in, and no idea which city you're in. Waking up in Dallas thinking that you're in Chicago, and it's just funny how much more you're traveling.
That makes sense.
Yeah, for sure.
Definitely makes sense.
Yeah.
Should we talk about a song that came out your rookie season?
Yeah. So I'm gonna give y'all some background about this song. So
all right.
He's a hater, so he wish he had his own song. He think he got his own song.
I do.
Go D. That's not your song.
That's my song, bro.
You don't know Lil Wayne.
I know Wayne.
Right.
Don't make me call Wayne.
All right, bro.
Go ahead.
Anyway, so the song really started I came up with the idea because Jason Tatum had his own song in high school, and I was like, I can't leave high school without my own song. That's what stamps it. All this McDonald's on that, that's cool, but I need my own song. So actually, initially, I'm somewhat cool with A Boogie, A Boogie. Yeah. And I told him, I was like, just put my name in the verse. But he's more of a hybrid of a rapper / singer. So it didn't really make sense. So one of my boys, he used to play basketball, but he started modeling, and then he started getting into rap. And once I saw that he was getting into rap, I started listening to his music, and I was like, put my name in a verse or whatever. Let's see how this goes. And he was like, all right, bet. So 3-4 days later, he sent me back an audio file, and it was titled Mo Bamba. And I'm like, I just needed a verse.
You talking about Sheck West?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
I was just like, all I needed was a verse. This dude just put my name on the title. But I was like, you know what, I'm going to listen to it. And at first, nobody liked the song. Nobody at all.
Still don't.
That's cool. Platinum. But that's cool. Nobody liked the song, and except for me, I was blasting in the weight room whenever I was in my room, just chilling. And then I guess when I got to college, it started having a little bit of buzz. Throughout college, I had a little bit of buzz, but the summer where I got drafted, that's when it kind of just took off, and then it is what it is today.
Let me ask you. So you was a great player at Texas, but like you said, that song came out right before the draft. Mm-hmm. How did that change things for you, as far as socially? Yeah.
So social media wise, I think a lot of the exposure I was getting social media wise was from just being one of the draft picks, the top draft picks. They're posting you all the time. You're doing a thing in Chicago, you're doing this and that. So I think it came from that. But at the same time, the song just people it was 13-year-old, dudes from Wisconsin, who liked the song. It was just all right, this song is named behind the person. Let me find out about this person, see who he is. And I'm a pretty active dude on social media. I like to joke around, comment on things every now and then. So I think people started gravitating towards that, and we're at where we're at now because of it.
Why don't you like the song, DJ?
I like it. It's just it gets played too much, I think. And that's any song. That's any song.
Yeah.
Like I think any song. If you play a song over,
But Go DJ by Lil Wayne doesn't get played.
That's a classic though. That's a classic song.
Yeah, my song.
Mo Bamba is not classic.
And your kids gonna be listening.
No,
to
they
it
not. I won't allow it. I won't allow it.
Right. But the thing is, like he said, he don't like it. But I seen him like on a layup line. He be like,
that was last season.
And then as soon as he walked by me, he be like, turn it off.
That was last season. But
this season, if it's played, DJ's like, nah.
No, I can't hear it again. But it went platinum, you said?
It did numbers. It did something crazy, and I was just like, I'm really happy for my guy.
That's a good story.
Were you expecting it to be as big as it got?
Not at all, to be honest. No, there's no way I was expecting it to be this big. I don't know what happened, but something happened, and the next thing you know, it was just being played everywhere. Yeah.
It really is played everywhere. It really is played everywhere. Like I feel like any city I go to, I hear it at least somewhere.
Sure. Yeah, if you go out, you'll hear it probably once or twice.
Sure.
Yeah.
And that's another thing. He probably can't even go to the clubs, sneak into the clubs before he was 21. Well, before he was legal, because they probably would play that song as soon as he walked in. So literally. So
at Texas they did, or even
at Texas, no, they didn't play that much while I was at Texas. But when I came back after I got drafted, it was just like, yo, this is like a whole thing. Like I came into the football arena. And they started playing, and everybody just started going crazy. I'm like, all right, see, cool. I was like, cool.
I did want to ask you. It's funny that you brought it up. The song by Lil Wayne. When that song first came out, did you like love it because you're like, hey, it's my name?
I did. I thought it was about me.
So you don't know Lil Wayne?
I do. No. I do know Wayne. I know Wayne. I know Mac Main. I know all those guys. We're from New Orleans. We all from New Orleans. But I knew the song wasn't about me. It was about, they was really talking about Manny Fresh, the DJ. So, but I told everybody it was my song. So that's.
I actually got questions. I got questions.
I kind of ran with that one.
What was you left New Orleans at the age of what, 13?
No, I was like 16.
16?
16, 17.
Yeah,
I was a junior in high school.
So what was the difference culturally between New Orleans and Houston?
Oh, it was a big difference. New Orleans is like, it's like a bowl. It's real small. You could get everywhere in 5 minutes. And then Houston is so spread out. It takes you 45 minutes to an hour to get everywhere. So that was one thing. Then in New Orleans, I don't know if a lot of people know this, I went to an all-boys school. And then when I went to Houston, I went to a co-ed school.
What was the name of the school in New Orleans?
New Orleans was Brother Martin.
All right.
And it was real strict. We had to wear uniforms, name tags, shave, all that.
Yeah.
Houston, it was just like Wild Wild West. You do what you want. So it was like a culture shock for me when I went to Houston.
Yeah.
But I got used to it eventually, and I think it helped me get ready for when I left to go to college. Just leaving home for the first time, and it was a good experience.
Who had the better basketball team between the two high schools?
Brother Martin. We went to state my freshman year.
Yeah.
We lost, and then we won my sophomore year, my junior year, and we was going to win my senior year, but that's when Katrina hit.
Damn.
Katrina hit my senior year, moved to Houston. So
what was that like to be part of that?
Of the winning at Brother Martin? Of Katrina?
Of Katrina.
I mean, it was crazy. I mean, you gotta think about it. I was in high school. I had, friends, family, I had my daily routine, my life in New Orleans, and then it just got pretty much switched up. I had to move to Houston, away from family, friends, start at a new school. I mean, it was just tough. We lost everything in the storm. We didn't take anything with us when we left to evacuate. We thought it was gonna be just a regular rainy day, and it is what it is.
Wow.
Was you the man as soon as you got to your school in Houston?
I was only because I was ranked when I went to the school in Houston. I was the number 2 point guard in the country behind Todd Lawson. So when I went there, they were going crazy, like because that's when social media wasn't even. I don't even think Instagram was.
No, it wasn't.
Nah, I don't even think MySpace was up. But that's when like all the websites was like Bob Gibbons, all the recruit website, yeah. So I was like on there, top 2, top 5 in the country. So yeah, they went crazy when I went.
That's tough. Did you meet your wife in Houston or
New Orleans? New Orleans, yeah. We've been together since 8th grade.
Dang.
Yeah.
That's so adorable.
8th grade year in New Orleans.
8th grade?
8th grade. Yeah.
I get tired of people.
Yeah. It's crazy. It's a crazy story. Every time I tell people, when we met, how long we been together, they like, wow. Yeah. But that's another thing. Like he said, what's the culture like? That's the culture in New Orleans. Like my parents been together 50 years. My grandparents 40 years.
Wow.
Her parents 50, 40 years. Like it's crazy.
That's awesome. So did she go to Texas also?
She went to Clark in Atlanta.
Okay.
Clark, Atlanta?
Yeah.
I was gonna say, how did you make the long distance?
It was tough. That was
Big
another adjustment I had to make. You know, her family went to Dallas. I went to Houston, and then I went off to UT, and she went to Clark. So it was just, you know, had to deal with it long distance relationship.
You know, FaceTime too.
They didn't. I don't think they didn't have FaceTime then, bro.
Yeah.
So the 70s. So we made it work. You know, so.
One thing you had mentioned, and I really would be interested to hear your take on this, is you mentioned when you were in high school, there wasn't Instagram, anything of that nature. How have you seen social media change?
It's crazy.
Being in the NBA, because when you first came in 2008, Instagram wasn't around. That didn't come in until like 2012, I think.
I just think it's just opening so many doors and giving guys opportunities. Like I said, like with Mo, you know, Mo has a large following. So, he, you know, he has a lot of doors open, you know, as far as like different branding and different opportunities. He could get so many opportunities just off his social media, you know what I'm saying? So it wasn't like that for us coming into the league, and you know, I'm not gonna say it's easier for them now, but you know, it's just a better way. And I mean, I'm older. Yeah. I'm older now, but I learned all my news and stuff from social media. Like anything that's going on in the world, I just go on Instagram. So
yeah, Instagram or Twitter. All right. So we were talking about music, which leads to our next question. Staying in the music, if someone was going to do a soundtrack of your life, who would you have on the album? You have to take out your obvious answer of a song that's
I wouldn't even go there. It'd definitely be a New York rapper. I'm thinking somebody like old school though, because that's like, you know, well, not old school, kind of like middle, I guess. I don't know, but I'm thinking like somebody like Cameron or like Jim Jones, just because they like been around like the neighborhood, so they know like the daily life of just like what goes down at home. He gonna pick Lil Wayne.
Yeah. I'm going Lil Wayne. I got to.
I love it.
He's the GOAT. Got to.
I don't know.
He's the GOAT.
Nah, I don't know. He's good, but he ain't no GOAT.
He's the GOAT, man.
Jay-Z?
Jay-Z the GOAT. Lil Wayne, you gotta, you know.
So
it was a stretch where Lil Wayne was just everything.
And then what happened?
I mean, everybody goes through those phases, you know.
Jay-Z ain't?
He's doing other things. He's a businessman now, so.
Yeah.
You know.
He's also married to Beyonce.
That's true.
That is very true.
Yeah.
That is very true.
Yeah.
I wonder what the power struggle is in that relationship.
Ain't no power struggle. you just let it be.
Hey.
Just let it be.
Happy wife, happy life.
You would know.
I know. Happy wife, happy life. For sure. For sure.
Do you give any of these guys, even though you've been with your girl since you're, 13, 14? 14. Do you give any of these guys advice coming in the league?
Too much. Hey. He thinks he knows everything. You don't know nothing.
So, you know, when we're in the locker room, I just think that's a time for me to, you know, use my experience to share my knowledge with these guys. Some of them listen, some of them don't. You know, and I just try to help them. You know, when I came in the league, we had the older guys, that's one thing they did. They always try to help us, younger guys. It wasn't a competition. You know, they try to, you know, bring us along, show us the right way and what to do, what not to do. And, you know, I try to do it with them. I try to do it in a joking way sometimes, and, you know, just have a good relationship with my teammates. You know, I think they all respect me, and, you know, just share my experiences with them. Like I said, it goes in one ear out the other sometimes with certain guys.
Not me. I listen a lot.
Okay. But, you know, I just try to share my knowledge and, you know, just help them out.
What's the best advice DJ has given you?
Oh, man.
We're testing to see if you've been listening now.
Honestly, it's not even what he says, it's just what he does. Like, DJ, I got you. DJ is real good at just about routine. This dude is serious about his treatment. He's serious about taking care of his body, and that's why he's been able to play, you know, 17 seasons. Sorry. No, that's why he's able to have that longevity in the league, and, you know, just me being a 7-foot guy, I need to emulate as much things as possible from what he does in his, not only, you know, what he does when we get to the Amway, but in his daily life, like what he's eating and how much. Dude is always carrying around a jug of water, and it's always, everything he does is purposeful.
I remember first thing I told Mo when I first, well, we text after he got drafted and stuff, but when I first seen him in person in the locker room, the first thing I told him, I was like, hey, Rook, make sure you always the first one in and the last one out. you know, and you know, that's just something that I learned, and I still do that to this day. I'm probably the first one here and the last one out every day. So, you know, it just goes a long way. It's something that I learned. It's definitely why I'm still in the league now, and you know, I hope to see these guys. I always tell them, you know, I'm gonna be done in a few years. You know, I'm gonna need tickets. So, don't put me.
Who this? Oh man. Nah, I got you. Don't worry, I got you.
Nah, it's all good, man.
Did anyone give you that piece of advice, be the first one in, last one out, or is that just something you?
Yeah, I mean, just like I said, I named a bunch of guys who played a lot of years in this league, and they always told me that. And I go back to Larry Brown. You know, even though he was hard on me, I remember one time I was summer league right after I got drafted. The bus time was like 4 o'clock for the game, and I got down there like 3:55, and he was like, "Son, if you don't beat me on this bus, then you're late." You know, and just little things like that, just over the years, just, you know, and I just always took that in consideration, and I just always try to beat guys to the gym and be the last out. You know, that's just something I always keep in my head.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Well, how would you rate Mo on his podcast as a guest, or his being a guest on the podcast?
He's been great. You know, he's a natural. Like I said, Mo. He
So
has a great personality.
Appreciate it, man.
great young kid. He works hard every day, and you know, I really appreciate him because we just had a good practice, been having some good days of practice, and I know he's tired, and you know, I appreciate him coming.
Well, we appreciate you, Mo.
Yeah, we're gonna work out the payment stuff.
Hey, you heard what I let you have it easy for your rookie year, so.
Yo, I'm gonna head out. Nah, thanks for having me, man. I really appreciate it. I really appreciate it.
Yes, sir. Appreciate it, man.